I started here at Iona in 1981, partway through grade 8 when my family moved back to Australia from New Zealand. She travelled to New Zealand as a young woman and met my dad, and they got married and had a family. Te huia katene ronganui Rangiira. We just called him Carl. Carl is a descendant from the Ngati Ruanui and Ngārauru people of Taranaki in New Zealand, in the North Island. And this partly explains where the Maori words come from in our war cry, but I'll get to that. I think this was the last ever rugby league trophy that was given to us. This is the Commonwealth Bank Shield Open Runners-Up. We missed out on going to Sydney that year, but it's a little bit of memorabilia for the school at the end of one era and at the start of another. So boys, in 1985 when I was college captain, Iona joined the Associated Schools. This was a big deal. We started playing rugby. We started competing in swimming and athletics against Marist Ashgrove and St Lawrence's and Villanova. And of course with that came a shift, a subtle shift or a shift in identity and culture. So a few things happened that year. It was the International Year of the Youth. Student leaders from all over Brisbane got together at that point to organise inter-school activities. Miss Purdy, our English teacher at Iona, wrote the college anthem to the tune of Blake's Jerusalem. I'm sure you know it. I remember at the time thinking, you know what, maybe we need a tune a little bit more upbeat, a bit contemporary, like something out of, I don't know, maybe Jimmy Barnes or Cold Chisel, some cool tune. And it wasn't until we were at the sporting swimming carnival at Chandler Sports Centre when we were all there with other schools, and I was there with the other prefects trying to gee up the boys, we thought, let's give the college anthem a go. And I'll never forget how powerful and meaningful those words were, that tune was on that night. And I thought, yep, I understand what this is about now. I get it. That was also when we wrote our college war cry that year. Now boys, very quickly, TAS schools had war cries and Iona at that stage didn't. So Father Sherman asked us prefects to write something that we could gee ourselves up with, something that would be meaningful. So I remember getting together with the prefects on the steps of the priest house there saying, all right lads, let's write something. We have a college motto, in hoc signo vinces, in this sign we shall conquer. Anyone know any other cool words? So we're sitting around and a word came to me from my childhood. My dad in that year, Carl, was the inaugural coach with Mr Scanlon, Mr Michael Scanlon of the Rugby College First 15. And I recalled a word that Dad would always say to me as a kid. In fact, every parent in New Zealand would say it to their kid. We didn't think anything of it. Kia kaha, be strong. We thought that makes sense. In this sign you shall conquer, be strong. Boys, it wasn't until years later, after I left school, I thought to myself, what exactly are we conquering here? Only then did I realise that perhaps we're conquering the belief that we're not good enough. Perhaps we're conquering the belief that we're not worthy to be the best we can be. When one conquers those doubts and draws on God's love, well, that brings a strength that the world can't give, and it brings great goodness into the world. At the time, it didn't really occur to me these were Maori words. This was the word my dad used to encourage me, particularly when I was struggling. You know, I'd be up writing, probably an assignment for Mr Townsend, late at night, the day before it was due. My old man would come down to my room at about midnight, you know, with a piece of toast and a cup of tea. And always he'd go, kia kaha, son, you can do this. Yeah, okay, Dad, sure. I remember up here at the school, late one night, myself and a bunch of the boys are doing a graphics assignment. Dad rocks up with this big box of sandwiches, brings that in. I was talking to some old boys just recently, they remember that. And the old man's going, kia kaha, be strong, boys. That's what that word meant to me. For me, that word is a symbol of how one generation of parents, of teachers, of mentors and leaders support and encourage the young people of their time. There will be moments of hardship, kia kaha. There will be challenges, so dig deep, kia kaha, be strong. It's what my father said to me. It's what his father said to him. It's what I've said to my kids. Yeah, we absorb many important messages, boys, when we're at school. And when we attend great schools like Iona, they become core values. the faith and the power of God's love to heal us, to make us strong, kia kaha, is perhaps the most precious gift. It will bring a peace and an energy that the world on its own can't give. So finally, boys, forgive me if I now wander too far into nostalgia and sentiment. But I thought it fitting to conclude this with my closing paragraph from my college captain's speech in 1985. For all of you, boys, but particularly, I guess, for the graduating class of 2019. So this is it. To the seniors of this year, for the friendship that we have shared and the years that we've spent growing up together, of course, much of this will be remembered. Much will be remembered of our pilgrimage through Iona. Yet my wish is that what we've learnt remains not only memories, but becomes a part of our lives for many years to come. You see, the dream that gave birth to Iona all those years ago was never meant to end when we walked down the drive for the last time. No, those dreams are to come to fruition in the lives that we choose to live. Thank you, boys.